Hello and welcome to all my students. Today in marketing, we'll be covering an important component of the marketing mix, both for goods and services, and it's called promotion. Students, today we'll be studying what is the meaning and characteristic of promotions, advertising, and the 5 M's of advertising. We'll also be looking at the various sales promotion tools which are used commonly in hotels. We will be understanding what is public relations. Then we will come to personal selling, and lastly direct marketing by means of telemarketing and internet. So let's begin. Well, what is promotion? Promotion is basically communicating with the public in order to influence them towards buying your goods and services. So promotion is when you are urging, appealing to the customers, to the potential customers, attracting them to buying your product. Then there is something called a marketing mix. Now promotion, there are certain promotion tools and there are 4 major promotion tools. One is advertising, the second is sales promotion, third is public relations, and fourth is personal selling. And we will be studying each one of these components in detail in this module. So promotion mix is basically how the company uses all these 4 components. Yes, so that's a promotion mix, and promotion is one of an important P of the marketing mix. You have your product, you have your distribution, you have pricing for your product, and now you want to promote it, communicate your product to the public in order to appeal to your customers. So it's an important component of the marketing mix, both for goods as well as for service. Okay, like just mentioned, there are 4 major tools of promotion, and these, like you can see on your screen, are advertising, sales promotion, public relations, and personal selling. Now, to elaborate further on these 4 promotion tools, here is a short video. Enjoy.
Created using Powtoon.
Wow. Well, that was a nice video, and I really like it because precisely it spoke about what promotion is all about. So what we've already spoken about, promotion is nothing but one is that you're trying to promote your goods and services, isn't it? And you're trying to get the attention of the customers. You're also trying to attract or appeal to the customers or persuade them to buy your product. So this is what promotion is all about. Yes, and it is a short-term thing. It changes from time to time, so it's not a long-term plan. It also talks about wholesalers and retailers, so your distributors. how they should be influenced so that they are the ones who are directly in touch with the customer. So how they should be sold to so that they in turn sell to the customers. It also spoke about how it helps us to brand the product. So the brand and brand image creation is also helped by promotion. And last but most importantly, promotion means to increase sales. So we are looking at increasing sales, increasing revenue of our product. So that is promotion in a nutshell for you. I hope it was understood by means of the video. Now, since we speak about the 4 promotion tools, the first promotion tool is advertising. Now, we all know what is advertising. Advertising basically a non-personal promotion tool. So unlike personal selling, advertising is not personal. It is generic. It is for everybody, right? So it doesn't individually speak to a person. It speaks to the masses in general. So it's a non-personal source of promotion. It is persuasive in nature, means that whenever there's an advertisement, it has an appeal. It has a persuading tone. It has a tone to influence the potential customers to buy the product. So they try to convince you to at least try the product. So it always has a persuasive tone when we talk about advertising. Then we speak that in advertising there is use of media. Any kind of media, it could be a print media like a magazine or a journal or an newspaper very commonly. It could be electronic media. Nowadays, on TV or on radio in the earlier days, you can appeal an ad, relaying across to a large number of audience. Nowadays, social media, which is your social media networks, right from LinkedIn to Facebook to Instagram to YouTube, whatever you may, you use them a lot, platforms of digital marketing. So such social media networks could also be used for advertising. Yes, so basically we are trying to say that advertisements are non-personal communication. They are persuasive in nature, urging the customers to buy the product, and they use a certain media. Now coming to the fourth characteristic of advertising is it is always a paid form. Paid form means it is going to incur expenditures for you. So if you want to print an ad in the newspapers, it's going to cost you something. So it's always a paid form of promotion, and these expenses are added to the marketing expenditure, and that in turn adds to the expenditure or the total cost of the product, and somewhere it is recovered back from the customers who buy it. So that is advertising for you. Now, advertising objectives we already spoken about. One is to inform about a new product. Second is to persuade to buy your product. And the third one is to remind the customers. So you have to be always in the minds of your customers. You always have to be on the top recall of your customers when they're looking to buy a particular product. So these are the 3 objectives of advertisements. One is to inform about a new product, second one is to persuade about an existing product, and thirdly to remind of a mature product. Yes? Well, now we will look at the 5 M's of advertising. These M's are very, very important integral part of the advertising process from the start till the end. It starts with a mission. Mission means what is the objective from advertising? Are you looking at informing about a new product? Are you looking at persuading your customers to buy the product? Or are you looking at reminding the customer of an existing product? So your mission or the purpose or the objective of the ad. Then you have the money. Money is money. Like we know that advertisements are paid form of promotion. So you need to have those kind of monetary resources budgeted and allocated to carry out an advertising drive. Then you have the message. Well, the message is the actual message that is relayed by means of the ad. A very good example is the taglines. Taglines are the quick recall, captivating captions that not only attract the customer to an ad, but they also prompt the sales, and most importantly, they're also remembered. Successful taglines. For Nike, it is just do it. So similarly, message is relayed through the taglines. I have a short video here which is going to talk about how to come up with an effective tagline for an advertising product. Then is the media, selection of media. Selection of media is done on many bases. Very commonly is the funds that you have, the type of the customer, depending upon the type of the customer, what is the media that the customer uses, the age of the customer, and effectiveness of that particular media. Like right now, social media is more effective than probably a print media. So selection of the right media to match the product, and most importantly to match the customer and to match the monetary funds that we have. Then is the measure. Well, this completes the whole circle. Measure means if you've invested in an advertising campaign, it should give you some kind of indicative figures telling you the impact of the advertising. Yeah, so translation in terms of number of people reached out to, number of people who have considered your product who didn't earlier, and number of translated into positive sales. So this kind of measurement has to be there in order to assess the return on investment of advertising campaign. Now going ahead, I'd like you all to watch this video. This is on creating captivating taglines for an ad. Here we go.
ViewVast, how to create amazing slogans. A diamond is forever. Now we know you've heard that before, but do you know where this saying actually comes from? If not, that's fine, because most really don't. A diamond is forever is a saying that is part of our culture, but before that it was actually a De Beers slogan to sell diamonds, and boy did those shiny rocks sell. Great slogans like a diamond is forever have been around throughout history. These slogans still work, but to compete with today's digital age, your slogan also must adapt. Now, if you're wondering how the hell is this done? Good. Fun size. Before you can even think about the content of what your slogan will be, the most important key is that it must be memorable. This means your slogan must be short. Anything longer than 4 words is too long. You have to see yourself as the person reading your own slogan. If they can't read it in under half a second, it's too long. They'll pass it by and be on to the next thing that grabs their eye. So what, I make my slogan shorter? Will that really make the difference in them remembering it? Catchy. If you really want an amazing slogan, you need to maximize it in every way. So keeping it short is just one part of the puzzle. There's a tune by a popular American fast food franchise. You know how it goes. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba, I'm loving it. Did you just sing a little tune in your head? Great, because that's exactly what McDonald's wants you to do when you read this. When words are catchy and have rhythm, they are always more memorable. That's just how our brains are wired. Okay, so I have it short, it's catchy, so what? Will this really seal the deal with creating an amazing slogan? Meaning. Meaning, meaning, meaning. Your slogan simply must mean something. It can be informative specific to your business, like a diamond is forever. With a slogan like that, there's no guessing to what De Beers wants to sell you. Your slogan can also mean how you want the person to feel when they buy your product or service, like McDonald's, I'm loving it. Now this is where amazing slogans end for traditional advertising. But what about in today's competitive market? How can you really make the most amazing slogan? SEO. What happens when someone wants to buy a product or service? They turn to good old Google. People often search with specific keywords to find their wants and needs. If you take advantage of the hottest keywords in your industry, your slogan will be more likely to pop up organically in the search engines. What does this mean? More sales. Put a lot of thought into your slogan. It will help you bring in more money to your business. Hey, maybe you'll also change our culture like De Beers did. ViewVast.
Okay, so this particular video was very interesting. It showed us how we can create a slogan or a tagline. Taglines are what are remembered by in the minds of the customers, and they help you to remind of the product to buy it. Yes, so
ViewVast. How to create a
sorry. Moving forward, we talk about the second tool of promotion, and this is called sales promotion. Sales promotion is something that all of us are very familiar with. Sales promotion means there are short-term incentives that are given to the customers, which will be like a bait for them to purchase your product. Yeah, it is usually done to increase the sale of your goods. So whenever there's a dip in the sales, it could be for a new product, it could be for an existing product, it could be for a mature product, it could be in a product which is dying out. Whenever you want to do a increase in sale, sudden increase in sale, and if nothing else is working, you would want to consider a few options of sales promotion. And what are these few options? You'll all know. Well, these special attractions are having discounts, which are most commonly done 50%, 30%, 20% discount that is given to the customer, giving extra. You get 20% extra in the same price. So any kind of discounts or additional product which is given, buy one, get one free. Buy one get one free is also very popular. Then you have gifts, that you give complimentary when you purchase something. So if you buy a moisturizer, you're getting a lip balm free, kind of a thing. So you get gifts free. Then there are draws. Draws are that lucky coupon and you get some prize. You could get a coupon or a voucher that you can claim at a later date. You get certain money refunds. Cashbacks nowadays are working very well. If you have a particular credit debit card, you're getting additional discount. Any kind of loyalty incentive also. So all these are promotion tools which are used as part of sales promotion. All of us have seen it, used it, and they really work very well, especially in the short term, to have the customer to try out your product. And if your product is good, after trying it once, the customer is going to come back to you with or without a promotion. Whereas if your product does not agree with the customer, he might try you because you're giving a special price like a 50% discount, but once you stop the discount, he's not going to buy you. So it works in the long term only if you succeed in getting the loyalty of the customer, and the loyalty comes if the customer is happy with your product. So that is sales promotion for you. Okay, well, now that we know what sales promotion is, there are basically two types of strategies that could be used by the company to market their product. One is, as it is given here, it is the push strategy, and the other one is the pull strategy. Now, what is a push strategy? Well, now these two strategies are to do with the distribution channel. Now, the push strategy is basically encouraging the channels. Channels are the wholesalers or retailers or any middlemen to stock the product. So the incentive here is not directly to the customer, but the incentive is to the retailer or the wholesaler to stock the product and promote the product. So sometimes we go to the shop and we ask for a particular brand of a coffee, and they say कि अभी stock नहीं है, तुम ये ले लो, market में आया है, बहुत अच्छा है. So this is basically a push strategy where the retailer is being probably incentivized and encouraged to stock the product as against those of the competition. This is basically known as selling into the trade. You're taking the trade into your account. You're taking your distribution channel into account, right? Then the ultimate customer. Whereas the second strategy, which is the pull strategy, is directed at the ultimate consumer of the product. So pull strategy is the strategy which encourages the customer to purchase. And here the strategy, the examples are what we've seen already, all of these that we discussed in the previous slide, where the end customer is getting the benefit, he is being incentivized, he is being attracted, he is being lured by the sales promotion. So here we're speaking about two types of strategies. One is the pull strategy and the other one is the push strategies. Okay, so that was sales promotion. Moving next to the third promotion tool is public relations. Well, public relations is nowadays also called as marketing communication, and it is nothing but the process by which we create a positive image and customer preference through a third party endorsement. So this includes public relation or PR, which is commonly known, includes any and every activity that the company takes in order to create favorable publicity, to build good relations, and if there are any rumors or negative publicity or bad publicity, do all the damage control. Okay, so public relations is very important to keep up the good image of your company. Now, major PR activities are what we will discuss very quickly. This has been explained in the meaning. Now, to break it up, the major PR activities are: one is press relations. Like you can see here, the first one is press relations. Now, press relations is that part of PR which looks or aims to place newsworthy information in the news media in order to attract attention. So your PR, which is directed at the press and media coverage to favorably cover your product, is press relations. The PR also does is product publicity. Well, product publicity is the task of securing editorial space as against paid space in print and broadcast media, which means that this publicity, whatever comes free of cost, as against we've spoken, advertising is very expensive. So any publicity that you secure as against paid and in an unpaid form is product publicity. The third one is corporate communications. Corporate communication is basically, it covers internal and external communications and provides the understanding of the organization. So this is any communication which is happening outside to the public at large. Another very important one is called lobbying. Lobbying is a little more technical. It involves dealing with legislators and government officials, bureaucrats, in order to promote or defeat legislation. So this becomes a little political. You are trying to win yourself over with the bureaucrats and decision makers in the government in order to pass bills which are more suitable to you. Then we have something called as counseling. Counseling means giving advice about public issue, company image and position. Yes, and in conclusion, PR also includes various publications or events that you probably would want to do to be in the news, to be in the good news, which will, if not directly, definitely, indirectly for sure, help to strengthen the image and in turn increase the product sale. Okay. The fourth and the last tool of promotion is called personal selling. Well, personal selling is personal. You go in person and sell your wares, right? So it involves interpersonal and oral communication between the seller and the prospective customer, in which the seller persuades his customer to purchase the product. How does he do it? He does it with a sales dialogue, which we call a sales pitch. It might be augmented with a presentation, right? And you set up an appointment, meet the person, do a sales pitch in order to influence or introduce and eventually sell your product to the to the client. People in the sales profile of any company do personal selling a lot. It could be for a hotel or for an insurance or for an aquaguard, for any kind of product or service. There is a lot of personal selling that goes into play. Now we will be talking about principles of personal selling. This is nothing but the entire process, end-to-end process of uh, doing a sales call, right? So when you're selling yourself to a prospective customer, the first step is called prospecting and qualifying. Here you identify the prospects. Prospects means someone who's going to buy your product or may buy your product, and these prospects are called as leads. Now, leads are usually procured through various sources like trade shows, referrals, database, data share, data mining, sales blitzing, cold calling. Then you try to solicit business through these leads, right? So it's very important to find leads and to qualify them. Qualify means to understand what is their business. Then once you are sure that they have business that you're looking for, then you have something called the pre-approach. Now pre-approach is that you're doing your homework before the actual meeting, finding about more and more about the company. A salesperson needs to learn as much as possible about the prospect company, about its needs, about who takes the purchase decisions, who are his buyers, what are the characteristics of the buyers. So you have to know as much as possible about that particular company during the pre-approach. Then you have the approach. Now pre-approach stage also helps you to approach the company in a more prepared fashion. Okay, now what it does is that during the pre-approach you set the objectives with which you will approach the organization. It helps you to qualify the company before you approach it. Approach is the actual approach, which includes your fixing a meeting, making an appointment, going and meeting the concerned person. So here in the approach stage, the salesperson, his appearance, his personality, his opening line, his talk, his follow-ups, his remarks are very important, because a salesperson is the face of the organization. He is the brand ambassador of the organization. So the salesperson approaches in the most favorable way, always with an open disposition, asking open-ended questions to get maximum information, which will help him to sell the product to the prospective customer. Another important part in the approach stage is listening. Salespeople need to always be listening to the needs and wants of the prospective client. Yes, the next stage we talk about is the presentation and the demo stage. Well, it's nothing but making the actual presentation. It has to be very professional, it has to be crisp and to the point, and it should address the needs of the potential customer. So making a presentation in the most positive way. If any questions or queries, the salesperson should be in a position to defend or answer them in a good manner. Then once during the presentation, if the customer shows any kind of willingness to purchase, then you have to pitch a price to it, and during pricing it goes usually back and forth. There are negotiations that happen. Negotiation is very important, because you want to get the business and not lose it, and you want to get the business in the most optimal price. So negotiation is basically when the buyer and the seller are discussing and trying to decide on the best price which is suitable for both the parties. So that is negotiation. Important part of any sales deal is to negotiate. Okay. Now going forward, you have overcoming objections, which is if the prospective client has certain reservations, questions, queries, clarifications, they have to be satisfactorily met and overcome. And this might require a little bit of customization or personalization. Okay, and once that is done, then well, now we come to the last part of this presentation. We'll talk about direct marketing. Direct marketing is basically getting in touch with the customers directly by using various aspects of advertising, marketing research, and personal sales. It also is characterized by use of technological medium like the internet, like telephones, like messaging systems in order to reach the prospective customers. It has also been used a lot to an extent that it has been abused, and now more than becoming of use to sell your product, it's also seen as a nuisance value to the customer. So it has to be used very judiciously so that it is impactful in a favorable way. With this, we conclude the module on promotion. Today, we've spoken about what is promotion, what are the 4 tools of promotion. The 4 tools are advertising, sales promotion, public relations, and personal selling. With this, we conclude the chapter. Thank you and see you again.